Modules 9 and 10 have been helpful to me as I move towards my future career path and as I look backwards on my previous experience as a manager of a small-town bakery. Having aimed to develop a small, closely knitted team, the team characteristics we discussed of satisfaction, stress, and stuckness were all areas that I worked to maintain in the positive. As a manager, it was up to me to set the tone of hard workers, which helped with our satisfaction with our accomplishments. I aimed to make sure that everyone who worked beneath me was proud of the work that they accomplished and routinely working towards pushing themselves more. To do this without sacrificing stressing the team, I would commonly reward them and commend their hard work, which helped with nonverbal immediacy with my team, as I discussed in previous discussions. As our module on approaches to leadership discusses, the team perceiving a leader as having special traits and being fit to lead is something I also focused on as a manager. I wanted to be sure that everyone knew that I was placed in that position, not just because of my length of time with the company, but because I had the interpersonal skills to translate the needs of our workers to our owner with less miscommunication, and also enforce his ideas for what the workers needed to do in a more respectful manner than he was capable of. In this, I worked as a mediator, which is something that caused people to respect me on both sides, upper management and the people who worked beneath me. Our preparing for an interview module was extremely helpful to me, as it helped to synthesize the information I already knew regarding interviews. As a manager at the bakery, I was in charge of giving interviews and selecting candidates, as well as training new hires. So I have a more intimate understanding of the interview process than most people without this experience. As our course materials recognize, it's important before an interview to understand the values of the company you want to work for. In addition, you need to convince your interviewer that you are someone they cannot afford to let slip past them, be able to market yourself according to company needs. As our materials note, a fine-tuned resume is extremely important to standing out in the interview process. For myself, I always curate my resume individually to the position I'm applying for. For example, as a future librarian, when I'm applying for library positions, I might emphasize my high school intern experience working in a library for a year and fixate on my community engagement in the interview, as well as my positive attitude towards research and working with children. In contrast, as I was applying for my current position in the Costco bakery, I focused on my hard work, and my resume highlighted the length of time that I was with each past employer, each of which was longer than 1 year, to show my dedication to spending a long time with the company, assuming I was hired. As a future librarian who will potentially be working in schools, professionally presenting new information is going to be a skill I will hone. I don't feel very confident in my ability to improvise at the moment, but I think for work presentations, this will come down to being extremely knowledgeable in the topic to be able to answer questions on the fly about the material. For me, the more I can prepare myself for any situation, the better. So taking more time to understand what I'm presenting will help me a lot in the future.